Hare Krishna, Namaste. Chapter 4, which is entitled as Jnana Yoga, Sloka 8. Paritrāṇāya sādhūnāṁ, vināśāya ca duṣkṛtām, dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya, sambhavāmi yuge yuge. So what we have seen so far is two: paritrāṇāya, trāṇāya, difference; vināśāya, nāśāya. Now the next one is samsthāpana, dharma-saṁsthāpanam. We already saw in the previous sloka what dharma means. Now dharma-saṁsthāpanam, Krishna could have told dharma-sthāpanam, meaning to establish the dharma, whereas he used samsthāpana, dharma-saṁsthāpana, which means to establish dharma to the fullest, the highest point. Therefore it's called dharma-saṁsthāpana. The second meaning of dharma-saṁsthāpana is, instead of sending someone else to establish the dharma, he did himself. Therefore it is not just dharma-sthāpana, it is dharma-saṁsthāpana. Because if Ram wanted, he could have sent one of those 33 crores of devatas who work for him to establish the dharma. But he personally came down. Therefore it is dharma-saṁsthāpana. Also, the third reason for dharma-saṁsthāpana is, it is said that Krishnam dharmam sanatanam. There is a saying that Krishna is dharmam, dharma is Krishna. So therefore, to establish himself, Krishna is dharma, dharma is Krishna, and there is no difference between them and their pastime. So what it means to say is, the Lord came down to establish himself fully as dharma. Therefore, dharma-saṁsthāpanam. Sambhavāmi, bhavāmi. This is the fourth one. Bhavāmi means to appear or to be born. Sambhavāmi means to be born fully or appear in full, he himself. Bhavāmi, taking birth, which means taking birth means a person get contaminated by the three modes, as all the living entities go through a repeated birth. As they go through repeated birth, they get further and further and further entangled, contaminated with the modes, by the modes. But sambhavāmi means one who removes the contamination, or one who does not get contaminated, rather by his appearance he is further glorified. His glories are increased by his birth. Therefore, it's not just bhavāmi, it is sambhavāmi. So those are the four things: paritrāṇāya, vināśāya, samsthāpana, sambhavāmi. Yuge yuge. Since it is said every millennium, but we need to connect this yuge yuge to the previous sloka, yada yada hi dharmasya. The previous sloka we already saw, which means that yada yada means whenever there is a decline of dharma and the rise of irreligion happens, yuge yuge, the Lord appears in every millennium as it's needed, only if it is needed. It's not forced that he has to appear every millennium, but based on yada yada hi dharmasya, based on the whenever decline of the dharma, that if it is needed, the Lord appears. So, moving on, out of these three reasons for the Lord's appearance, what would be the best or most important one for his appearance? Is it to protect the sadhus, paritrāṇāya sādhūnāṁ, or to annihilate the miscreants, vināśāya duṣkṛtām, or to establish the dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya? So, the first view is, since paritrāṇāya sādhūnāṁ is mentioned as the first reason in the Sloka, it takes precedence over the other two. Therefore, we can say that paritrāṇāya sādhūnāṁ, to protect the sadhus, is the important reason for his coming down, whereas the other two are secondary reasons. Now, the second viewpoint is dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya is the reason for him to come down. The other two are secondary. Let's see how. In this dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya, artha has been, we can see that arthaya has been told here there. Artha means the use or the benefit or the purpose. So that means the purpose is to establish the dharma. Among the other two takes precedence, as the term artha is not used for other two as sādhūnāṁ paritrāṇāya or duṣkṛtām vināśāya. Nothing has been mentioned like that except saṁsthāpanārthāya. Therefore, the second viewpoint is the main reason for his appearance is to establish dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya. This is the second view. But we need to know both are important. If the sadhus are protected, they will take care of the dharma. If the dharma is established, the sadhus will be protected. So both has its own place. Also, when dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya is said, both protecting the devotees and annihilating the miscreants can be considered as part of dharma. That's another thing we can understand from here. There's another viewpoint, that is, the Lord can tolerate offenses committed to him, but he cannot tolerate when it's committed against his devotees. Hence, to punish those demons, the Lord descends personally. He can tolerate anything, but not when his devotees are being offended. Therefore, he comes personally to punish those duṣkṛtām, vināśāya duṣkṛtām. So these are different views by which we can understand the purpose and importance of the reasons why the Lord descended. Krishna says here, especially, he comes to protect the sadhus. He did not mention all the living entities, bhūtānaṁ, or any specific, he did not use any specific terms. Rather, he says clearly, paritrāṇāya sādhūnāṁ, to protect the sadhus. So let's learn what sadhu means, or who can be called as sadhus. So, number one who strictly and religiously follows the dharma that's mentioned in the Vedas as per one's varnashrama. That person is called sadhu. A few more points that needs to be understood as a sub-points to this particular one is a person who follows dharma as per Veda should be a Vaishnava. And if someone is a Vaishnava, he must be following the dharma in the Vedas. Those are called sadhus, and for them the Lord descended. So the Vaishnava means they are sadhus, and sadhus that Krishna mentions here are Vaishnavas. One may worship other devatas as supreme besides Krishna. We should understand, for them the Lord doesn't have to descend. Or one may worship other devatas with the understanding that Krishna is the Paramatma within the devatas, those devatas. Even for those, Lord doesn't need to descend. So He only descends for those who have fully accepted directly shelter of Krishna, fully accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord. For such sadhus, Krishna descends. We can see this from the stories of Prahlad. We can see this from stories of Vibhishana. They have taken complete shelter of Krishna, Rama. So, sadhus, first reason is one who follows the dharma, accepts Krishna as the supreme. Second reason, second quality is treating everyone equally, both favorable ones and unfavorable ones, that is friends and enemies equally. Number 3, one who never covet or try to take over others' possessions, property, wife, husband, etc., etc. Number 4, one who practices ahimsa, meaning not torturing any living entities. And number 5, being pure at heart. So a sadhu means who has all these 5 qualities. Number 1, to follow strictly the dharma mentioned in the Vedas by accepting Krishna as supreme. Number 2, treating both our friends and enemies equally. Number 3, one who never pays any interest in others' properties. Number 4, one who practices ahimsa. Number 5, being pure at heart. So the Vaishnavas are called sadhus, and if someone is to be called sadhus, it is expected that he is a Vaishnava. So, why can't the Lord protect by his sankalpa? Why he has to descend? That has not been answered yet in our discussion so far. That we will continue in our second part. Paritrāṇāya sādhūnāṁ vināśāya ca duṣkṛtām dharma-saṁsthāpanārthāya sambhavāmi yuge yuge. Namaste. Hare Krishna.